Hi, my name is Katie Pike, and I'm going to be doing my evaluation for Alan Navy's Wading in Water, or Wade in Water. I enjoyed this performance mostly for the music change and the simplicity in the costuming and the props. I think that was really well done. The music changes from the African tempo beats to a really fast-paced, joyful music that really highlights the spiritual and the celebration that's going on with the dancers. That tempo really just captivated me, just really drew me in, and I could feel myself starting to move along with the dancers themselves, and it was just really interesting to me, and I could really see that they were enjoying themselves with it. The all white of the costumes spoke to me about the spiritualness of the dance and how pure these dancers were in their movements. It just kind of proved that they didn't deserve what had happened to them. They were just the victims, but they were able to rise above it. And it was easier to focus on the choreography because they were very simple and there's nothing flashy and getting in your face, and you weren't just like, hey, what's that on their costume? No, it's just a simple white dress or white pants. And yeah, definitely the fact that the dresses were, just long and they were flowed, and you could really see the movement in them as the dancers were spinning. It was very obvious, and also to see the curve in the back as they released it. I think that was beautiful as well, because then the skirt was very flowy and, spinning around. It was really beautiful, and it wasn't restricting. There's also minimal props on the stage, like a set piece. There was no platforms that they were moving up on top of and doing a different level change, and sometimes that can help a performance, but I think in this way it didn't. It helped to not have that, because they were all on the same surface, and you could really identify each dancer. And even with the props that they were holding, they're very simple and they didn't get in the way, and they really added to it, especially the umbrella. You could really see that this dancer was highly talented, because it's hard to dance with one hand. But she did it beautifully. Also, I love the fabric that they used to really help differentiate the different scenes within the dance. It was really well done, especially when they did the water scenes. You could really see as the dancer began to step into the water, and then as it kind of came back, and it really flowed, and it was really cool to see the dancers' bodies replicate those same movements that you were seeing behind them and in front of them, and it was a really pretty blue, so you could easily imagine that it was a river current. A couple things I didn't like about the performance, unfortunately, which is normal. Sometimes the dancers weren't all in sync when they were kind of turning or when they were going back into their back bends. And since I come from a jolting background, that's just a little irk of mine. But they were still really well done. And sometimes when they would turn and do pirouettes, it seemed like they were flat-footed, or they were trying to hop around. And that may have been just part of the choreography, but it was just something I didn't like, and it kind of took it away from me. And I just felt like, I don't really want to see that, because to me it just looks really sloppy. And then with the vocal tract of the music, I didn't like that I could only hear specific words, just like the wade in the water. It was really all that stuck out to me. I wish it could have just been a little more clearer, so you really would have understood the intent and the emotion that the music was portraying next to the dancers. I think that would have been much more beautiful. Then with the intent of the dance, for a lot of people it may have been really obvious that it was a spiritual dance. If they kind of knew the history of that time, obviously everyone knows, but to me it took me a couple times just to watch it to really understand that this was something more spiritual, and rather than just a celebration or just a coming together of people. I did like how the music and lighting really did help with it, especially with the different changes in the tempo, especially, and then that the lighting was very it wasn't harsh. It wasn't a very white light. Since it was that blue light, it really evened out everyone, and you could kind of see them pull in from the back. So yeah, that's my evaluation.